Good morning, Fit.Church. It's great to be with you today. And today we're looking at Samson once again. We're in lesson number 2 of 3 that we're going to look at. And yesterday we talked about that the first lesson in Samson's life was that we have a purpose. The second lesson is when we're living out that purpose, we can expect resistance. So we have a purpose and we can expect resistance. Now, these chapters on Samson are full of resistance that comes to him. He goes down. I'm not going to take time to read all of these different chapters, but I am going to read a portion of text in just a moment. But we read that he goes down. He sees a Philistine woman he's very attracted to. He gets his father to set up the marriage. He goes down, and while they're in the throes of the marriage ceremony, which goes on for several days, he tells a riddle and offers that if anybody can figure it out, that he will pay them a certain amount. And no one can figure out the riddle. But they keep bothering his future wife to tell them the secret. And she keeps bothering him every night. So he finally tells her one night, and she tells her family, and they come in the next day, and they tell him the answer to his riddle, and he realizes that his wife told them. And he gets livid. And instead of staying and claiming his wife, he goes home with his parents. Well, so there's resistance there. Then it comes time for the harvest, and he goes down and he decides he's going to pay a visit to his wife. And he goes to greet her, and her father stands in the way and says, "I thought you decided you did not want her, so I gave her to your best man." And now Samson is really enraged, and the resistance is even bigger. And this time he burns a bunch of their wheat. You can read all about it. He uses some foxes, I think is what it says, and he ties some burning stuff to their tails, and they run through the fields and just light everything on fire. And what happens is the Philistines get very upset. They come out to get him, and they come to do war and to find Samson. And Samson's own people come to him and say, "What have you done?" And he says, "I just did to them what they had done to me." And they said, "Well, we're going to tie you up and give you to them." And he says, "Will you promise that you won't take my life?" And they said, "Yes, we will only give you to them." And so what happens is they tie him up, they take him down. The Philistines all begin to celebrate. And Samson jumps up, and the Spirit of the Lord comes upon him. And let's see what happens. Verse 14 of chapter 15 in Judges. As Samson arrived at Lehi, the Philistines came shouting in triumph. But the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon Samson, and he snapped the ropes on his arms as if they were burnt strands of flax. And they fell from his wrist. And then he found the jawbone of a recently killed donkey. He picked it up and killed 1,000 Philistines with it. Then Samson said, "With the jawbone of a donkey, I've piled them in heaps. With the jawbone of a donkey, I've killed 1,000 men." And when he had finished his boasting, he threw away the jawbone, and the name of that place was called Jawbone Hill. It says here that Samson, after that battle, was very thirsty, and he cried out to the Lord, asked him for victory, and the Lord allowed a spring to burst forth so that Samson could drink. Samson was under God's presence. And this is what I want to say. We can expect resistance, but you can also expect that when we experience resistance, whether it's on our health journey or any area of our lives, when we're walking in the Spirit, when we're walking in God's path, we can expect resistance, but we can also expect that the Spirit of God will rush upon us and give us the strength to do battle, the strength to walk through it, the strength to endure, and that even after the energy and the effort, If we're thirsty, he will provide us what we need to drink. So recognize that yes, we can expect opposition, but we can also expect victory in Jesus' name. So your triple D today is, what opposition have you been facing? Where has it come from? Has it come from within you? Because see, part of Samson's opposition later on is his own lust that comes from within him. He has to battle from within the resistance. So not only resistance on the outside, but resistance on the inside. So where's your resistance been? That's your triple D for today. And wherever that resistance been, I just want you to take a moment now to pray and ask God to help you overcome the resistance that's been plaguing you in your life and maybe even on your health journey. God bless you so much. Know that we love you guys and we're praying for you.